Hi, today we'll just have a discussion on a few interview topics, especially there's some real-time topics also we have, like gap analysis and functional specification, and also enhancement. One functional specification of enhancement we'll briefly discuss today. The first, if you see this gap analysis, like what is the gap analysis? For example, once we go to the implementation project and we understand the current business setup of the company, at that point of time we have some gaps we used to identify, which is supposed to be fulfilled by using different kind of methods. Maybe any developments we have to perform to fulfill that, or else any connection with other systems, no? These kind of gaps we identify, that gaps have to be fulfilled with the SAP developments. I will give you some one example of any gap just to understand it, and we can go through that. See, for example, if I take a gap of thing, see the vendor, okay, whatever I want to explain, the same thing we will just go there. So I mentioned many of the details here, and if you see the details like okay, the gap can be any kind of thing. For example, if you take here in the, they want to have a one kind of details which is not available, that we can call it as a gap. See the first one, if you take it in Migo, if you open our Migo screen in SAP, okay, in Migo screen in SAP, how it looks like, if they need a certain kind of details and additional details. For example, if you take our Migo transaction code, as per standard SAP, what are the fields we can capture here, and if the business needs certain additional details. It's, I'm just giving a one example. The same kind of thing we have to incorporate in any case. It's maybe PO, it may be what you call PO item level, PO header level, and also in Migo only for they want to have for certain kind of goods receipt or goods issue, only they want to have an additional functionality. This is one kind of thing, and another kind of some enhancements I told you, like for example, there is a bill of lading. Okay, the bill of, what is bill of lading is, as per business function, they will give there is a bill of lading at the time of goods receipt, they will give you one delivery note and a bill of lading. There is a form which they maintain, that respect to number, everything they will give to you. Okay, if you, I'm just giving an example, if they want to have a specific system where the bill of ladings are getting maintained. Okay, whenever you maintain in the system like this, for example, I have maintained, I'm just giving an example, TE123. Okay, then a system has to validate whether this TE123 is available in that system or not. Okay, how can you map this scenario? For example, there is a third party system where you are maintaining the bill of lading and your goods movement activities are happening. All the bill of lading data which is available, just I'm giving a bill of lading, it may be any kind of field. All the details which are available in that system, we have to keep in SAP also with some customized table, the data flow. Then we have to tell ABAPer, when I give bill of lading here, system has to check whether this bill of lading is available in that customized table. What is that customized table? That customized table will be automatically updated from the third party system. Okay, then we can within SAP, here it will validate if the TE123 is available, then it is fine. If you have given 167, when you are posting the document, system has to throw an error message, TE167 is not allowed. Okay, what is the reason? It is not available in the custom table. Why it is not available? Because the customized table was not updated, means it is not available in the third party system. One reason. Another reason, you are running every day some bad job to update the details of bill of lading in third party system to that customized table. Today it was failed because of some reasons, that's why it is not updated. Yesterday night only they have updated the bill of lading TE167, but it has not yet come to SAP customized table. That would be another reason. This is one kind of enhancement. Any kind of requirement which they want to link with third-party system. What kind of third-party system? I told you, like for example, if you go to a retail system, they are using one kind of POS, POS system we call it as, which they to read that barcode items, and it looks like Excel sheet. In 10th class person or anybody, the retailer who will be there, he can handle easily, but that system will be integrated link with SAP system. Okay, all these kind of things we can call it as an enhancement. I have mentioned there are some around 12 I have 11 I have given. You can take any 2 3, and also you can correlate with your own thing. Like for example, I have enhanced a tab in Migo. The same enhancement I have done in a PO item level, PO header level, mainly PO and Migo, which are important fields which generally we used to involve with these things. And also in the customized report. And also if you take it, that is a report. Any report you can call it as, you have taken the same report and you want to keep in a one data file. These kind of enhanced gaps we can tell. Okay, these 11 gaps are more than enough to you. I think you have this updated file. If you don't have today, I will send you this updated gap analysis file to all people. Okay.
Yes, sir. I need it.
Yeah, I will send you. I think it is shared. If it is not shared, I will send you the updated file. This is one thing.
Okay.
And what is functional specification? The functional specification is a communication between functional consultant and technical consultant, whether it might be a report or a enhancement or a smart form. Okay, whatever this kind of thing, we will mention the respect to details. This format will be different from company to company, and all people may use in a different formats. I'm not much bothered about that format. But if you see the content, like what is the objective of the development, why do you want to develop this one, what kind of benefit you are going to get, why it is not available in SAP standard, then only you have to go for the development, right? That objective we have to mention, and in which T code you are going to do that. If you are doing ME21N, give ME21N. If you are doing in report MB52, give MB52 report. And the program logic. The logic means it cannot be 90% as a function consultant. Logic means for us it's a table and field. Okay, if you want to get a unit of measure, EKPO MEINS. 70 to 80% logic means for us table and field, but next level will be there. Certain things we cannot get from the table. Okay, at that time we have to go for different other parameters. For example, if you open ME23N, if you open our purchase order, maximum details we can get from EKKO, EKPO, different tables we will get it. Whereas if you go to the status tab, okay, you are seeing the status, right? In this status tab, these details you cannot get from either EKKO table, okay, because that is header, right? At that point of time, how to get the details? That details you may go through, there are function modules and BAPI. We have different kind of other functionalities to fetch the respective data. How to get that data and all, we can work on that, and we can try to get the details and all. For example, another kind of logics, for example, you are using some third-party system Tally, and you want to get the Tally data automatically to SAP. There what you can give, what is that destination system, what is the source system, that kind of basic details, and your requirement you will be given, but ABAP consultant will work more on that area, and he will try to get the details, like what kind of how to link between these two systems, whether you want to go for IDOC or what kind of message types we have in SAP standard. All these kind of things he will work, and he will try to provide you the respective solution on that. Okay.
Okay.
Mm. If you go to SC37, because the table and field you're mainly you're going many times. SC37 is the transaction code to see a function module. It's a pure work of ABAP consultant, but we should have some basic details on this. Okay. See, this is the BAPI underscore PO underscore get detail one. This is the function module where we will get the details of this. Many details you will get, but the status detail we are not able to get from the table. That's why we have to use this function module. This will internally a BAP consultant will take care about all those things. If you want to run manually, you can just click on this. This is a test icon where we will run the test. For example, if you want to see, if you take any one PO, okay, that is a delivery was done. Okay, you will get all the details here. If you see this in this PO, you will get how we get from EKKO, EKPO. In the same way, you will get all the details. Okay. At the same time, you will get some multiple other details also here, like the status details. This is the function module which we use to fetch that status details also. If you want to get in your report or what kind of enhancement or anything where we are going to work, if you want to get the details, we have to get that. This is the mutual work with the ABAP consultant. I'm just giving you one different example. Generally we don't get these details, we won't get in EKKO table. That's why we use this function module, okay, to get the details and all. See here, for example, if you see our PO history, we get the PO history at the item level, right? Here we are going to get completely at the header level how much quantity was delivered and what is the delivered quantity, okay, how much the PO quantity and what is the GR value, all the details we can get from here. That's why we have recently we have worked on development. In that I have used this function module. That's why like I was just thinking like, okay, it's kind of a one new thing which you can get. There are function modules also will give you the details, and also these function modules will be useful to run the transactions also. There are certain function modules will be useful to release the PO. When you want to release bulk POs and all, we can use this functionality. See, if you click on this display, system will directly open that function module coding, which can be understood by the technical consultant, or if you have that coding knowledge, then you can understand like what kind of details were given in that function module, how it was given, what kind of coding what it was given, all the details we can see if you click on display. If you click on this icon, which will to test the how does it work in the back end. The same thing we can test in the front end also by passing the details and all. Okay. Well, like how do you check certain kind of BAPs which are available in your respective area? Yeah, I can just check randomly and at the basic level, and I can help my ABAP consultant to identify certain BAPI and all. But the deep technical and all, I don't have much idea. You can tell in that way. For example, if you come to this purchasing, okay, come to the ending. Okay, here we have certain kind of business add-ins. Okay, there are some baddies. If you want to deactivate the hold function in purchase order, they will implement this baddie. By seeing some text also, we will understand like if you want to implement certain things, if you want to deactivate certain objects and all, we use this baddie functions. And if these baddies and additional business add-ins will be available for each area. For example, we have seen in purchasing, right? Now I will go to our another important topic, inventory management. Okay. If you come to inventory management also, if you have any additional things, if you have anything, if it is available in SAP, you just get here. Just check in that notes where you maintain customer exists and business add-ins. These are the standard business add-ins, which are some already available, and we can implement certain kind of details if you want to. See how ABAP consultant is doing certain developments. He is not something inventing on his own, right? He will take any of these existing developments and he will apply in that areas. Okay, he will apply. See, for example, if you want to enhancement the scope of archiving, stock transfer of, he will see that baddie and whether this baddie will be useful for our requirement or not. He will see in that way. And also BAPI, if you want to see, there are many. BAPI is the transaction code. Okay, directly you can use BAPI, or we have a transaction code called SC80. You may not have access in the real-time system for production quality and all. If you go to the transaction code where we can see the different kind of functionalities. As a function consultant, we can see that description only. You may not understand in the deep way. See here you can search like whether you want to get any objects, if you want to see, if you want to check any program, okay, and all details, if any objects and all, they will see here. And mainly I want to tell today the BAPI. BAPI is the transaction code. The BAPI can be used to enhance any functionalities, and BAPI can be used to create bulk purchase orders. We have different kind of usages with this BAPI. See, this is the BAPI transaction code. Okay, and what is our area? Material management. And if you just come here, we have purchasing. In purchasing, if you have a favorite purchase order, if you go there, for purchase order, what kind of BAPIs are available? Okay, to change purchase order. For each one, there are different kind of BAPIs. See, for certain respective areas also, it is available. Different kind of BAPIs are available. When you want to create a program in the cutover data, you want to create thousands of purchase orders at a time. At that point of time, a wrapper will take any the suitable BAPI which is working fine and which is released recently by the SAP by making certain kind of constraints, because every time we will get some problems when you are developing BAPI. That constraints we will inform to SAP. When SAP is getting the different kind of issues for the same area, then they will work on this product development and R&D, and they will incorporate respective changes, and they will release the new BAPI. Any functionality. See, I have shown you, right? SC37, just now we have seen. Earlier we have only detail. Okay, only detail is also available, but detail 1 was released in the with some efficient way. Okay, like that we can have a different kind of functionalities and all. What is the duration of the cutover, that we cannot see. For example, one of my projects, they have told like, please consider the data. I was implementing in somewhere in 2013, I think. They told like 2012 April 1st onwards, whatever the documents are open, we will give those data only. We are least bothered about 2011, 10, 9. We are going to directly closing with the vendor. Okay, then obviously your data will come down. And how the client wants, and what is the size of your client. SAP is going to be implemented for 1,000 crore company and also 300 crore turnover company. And if they have a 10,000 crore turnover company, they might be split into 2-3 phases. The first phase, this 3,000 crore division, and second phase remaining 4,000 crore division. See how they are planning their business, that implementation also, because they should have a budget also, right? Budget and the people availability. When you're a 1,000 crore turnover company or 5,000 crore turnover company, if you want to implement directly at a time, uh, they have a plants in across the India. Okay, across India, every plant has to dedicate some 5 people. Those 5 people also expert people only, 5 or 10 people, core team members who have good knowledge, who are having a lot of dependency also. People, the company is depending, that respective plant is depending on that person also. If you provide those people for 8 months or 1 year of the time, it will have a lot of impact, right? That is one reason. And also getting data from all plants at a time, they will have a lot of hurdles because some people are maintaining in Excel sheets, some people are having materials but they are not maintaining the tracking properly. Okay, proper data was not maintained. Getting from all plants is not easy. One of my projects, like in Kolkata and some 2 3 plants, they are well maintained the data, but other locations they're still, after the project was started, they are running how many materials we have, what are the names and all. They're starting collecting the data. That's why it will different from plant to plant and all. That's why they will how much data you are going to get, how many open POs, and how much stock is going to be available. At the same time, for FA consultant, how many payments he is going to do, what are the balances he has. SD consultant, how many open sales orders are there. According to the complete data and all, with the project manager and the client side, we discuss all those parameters and we will fix that cutover, maybe 15 days, 20 days, or 25 days. That depends on the size of the data, I can say. Please don't call SAP as a SAP. SAP, you call it as a SAP only. IAS, why don't you call it as yes? Yes, or we always call it as IAS, right? Because IAS three have three different mean, what you call, abbreviations. In the same way, SAP is having three abbreviations: systems, applications, and products for the database. Okay, that's why we never call it as a SAP. Sorry, SAP. We should call as a SAP. Okay, coming to existing SAP to conversion and all, obviously it will be easier. When you have SAP, you have a tables. You can go to MERA table and download all the materials. Go to MERC and download all the materials with the plant data. You can easily fill our template which is going to be created for the materials, right? If you're non-SAP, you have to collect all the data and keep it. And also we don't have a proper structure. We only supposed to create the structure, like how many material types we need, how many groups we need, and the entire things we have to keep in from scratch. But when it is already existing SAP, if you have a reference, then it is very easy to make it download the data and all. We can improve. They might be done, for example, they created 25 material types. Okay, and as a senior consultant, when I see that one, why did they create those many material types? Okay, the spare parts and all those things they can clubs into one material type. 25 to I will make it some 10. Because I will show you the benefit of making with less material types and groups and all those things we can explain. That kind of modifications we do when you go for a existing system. But always a existing system, if you have a reference, it will be taking less time. The problem in the sense they don't know. For example, one requirement of material types and material groups we have to finalize by discussing with our MM core team members. That is our task for the next 2 days. Okay, you sit with your MM core team member and ask him like what kind of materials you are using. He doesn't have a structured manner. Then he will tell you like we use gas, we use that diesel, we use that, like that he will tell you some list of materials. He will directly go to the materials. Then you have to tell him like, yeah, we have materials of 2000 to 2500. I'm not asking about the materials. Can you tell some kind of stream? Can you differentiate? Then he will come to the next level of yeah, we have a spare parts, electrical items, and what you call food items, and civil items, mechanical items. Then he will come to the next level. Then as a core team member, they always try to ask you like more material types. Okay, we have to tell like no, if you want to have these many material types, you can have some 10 or 12 like that. And we can have a multiple material groups, which is the second level of hierarchy, maybe some
Mm.
70 or 80 or 90. because how many material groups you have, those many accounting different we can have, because we generally have a fundamental thing. How many material groups we have, those many almost approximately equal valuation classes will be created, because to handle different kind of accounting. In OBYC, valuation class will be decided, right? If you want to have a different GL accounts, different valuation classes will have a role. Like that we will explain them. Then go to materials. Materials is nothing. They can create any material they want to ask, until if it is completely logicless, we don't interrupt that much level. Materials we can create multiple, but mainly we concentrate on material type, try to prevent similar kind of things. If we have a multiple material types, then it's a kind of for data and also confusing and all. Try to have a higher level. Material groups, we can have 10 material types, groups 90, materials maybe 1500 or 2000. This is the best combination how we can segregate.
Okay.
See, what is the functionality of CIN, country India version? In not like other countries and all, you see, if you among all countries in SAP wise, we have very complex scenarios for Brazil and India. Okay, that's why SAP has given a specific tax solutions for India and Brazil. It comes in our SPRO, Logistics General, then tax on goods movement. Then when you come to India, okay, here we have this basic settings and master data. The money account determination activities and all will happen, which we work with along with FI. The functionality wise, how an accessible government will decide. I think whenever we have this financial what you call the budget, when the finance minister is releasing, he will tell you the excess duty was increased for certain items, for certain products we are decreasing the excess duty. Because we have to pay a duty to the government when you are manufacturing certain product. How can we call a material as an accessible material? Generic definition I will tell you. There are some products government will give you excess free. Okay, even when you start a new company or when you start a new organization, government will give you first 2 years access free to you. You don't have to pay excess duty. You are having 100 products you are buying for manufacturing, and you are selling some 10 products which are making from these 100 raw materials. At that point of time, in that 100 raw materials, maybe some 10-15 materials you don't have to pay excess duty, because there is a guidelines will be given by government of India to all the companies as per that, and also percentages. For these products 4%, for these products you have to pay 12% of excess duty, for these products you have to pay 10%. That also will have, that is one point you have to remember. Government will give you which products you have to pay excess duty. In that also, for products they will give you the percentages. For the certain products you have to pay 4%, for certain product you have to pay 6%, like that. For simple definition, a raw material you are buying, if you are using for manufacturing of a respective finished product, then that material can be called as accessible material. For your understanding, I will give an example. You are buying salt to make food at your home. You are consuming to make your food for your home. You want to use. Okay. Take Haldiram's company. Same Haldiram also buying the same salt. Okay, but they are going to use that salt as a raw material to prepare a finished product of certain bhujia, whatever the finished product. That finished product they are going to sell in the market to get some benefit. Means they are doing the business by buying the raw material and making a finished product. Then they have to pay excise duty to the government when you are buying the raw material. At the same time, when they are selling the material, they have to pay the excise duty. Same salt when you're buying at home, we are calling, we don't have to pay an excise duty because we are not making any manufacturing or any business with that salt. We are just using as a consume. We are just consuming for our purpose. This is the basic thing. Here the registrations and all, if you see the configuration of CIN, ECC number, registration number, everything will be given by the government for your company. How many registrations you want to have, that we will maintain, one registration number and all the details we will maintain here. And the company code settings for your company. Okay, what is your financial year, April to March, whatever it is, the details all we maintain here. The company code settings, for example, if you take any company code, details, everything we maintain. There is access groups. We generally, how many plants we have, those many access groups we create. Each plant which are having accessible. You have a 3 plants, 4th plant you have started, at that time government will give you some access free to you, like you don't have to pay access for 2 years. Under that, if you have we create a series groups. Under access group we will have a series groups which will be useful to determine the data and all indicators and all. Okay, the basic configuration setup for country India version. So the indicators we have, I told you right, certain materials you don't have to pay. Some material you will pay 50% tax because government is giving exemption for 50%. For certain you have to pay 100%. That's why we use different indicators. The main role will be played in CIN, that is chapter IDs. Okay. If you maintain any chapter ID in the system, it's a other system. I think I have another system where I have done this in configuration also. For example, if you maintain a chapter ID, we generally create different chapter IDs to segregate how many chapter IDs we will have. I told you 10% tax, 5% tax, 2% tax, 50% exemption, 40% exemption. How many kind of different materials you have, those many chapter IDs we will create. Then only these chapter IDs will be assigned to our materials. All 10% chapter ID we will assign to 10% one materials group, and 4% is the chapter ID we assign to all those kind of materials group. If you see that data, then you will come to know the master data, that is called J1 ID. J1 ID. This is the excess rate maintenance, the name which is playing the role in the complete country India version. The configuration and all, it's a one-time activity which is maximum details we will maintain as per the government which is given. If you see this document, you will come to know the details and all. See how many access registrations. See, these are all registrations, nothing they will create with own, government will give, they will maintain it. And this document is very good. You will get the definitions for everything. See, in any entry in India that is entitled by law to produce any goods liable to excise. Each entity is assigned to its own excise registration number. Every factory that manufactures excisable goods is required to register separately, so that a business with 7 factories requires 7 registrations. I told you right, how many plants we have, those many registrations we have to take, and the government will give you the registration number, because government can track how many excise registrations were given this year, means how many companies are going to pay excise duty. And also government has to give how much excess, these companies will provide you like how much excess duty you are paying and all those things. If you go to that each definition, you will come to know in the better way. Okay, now coming to this J1 ID, which is the master data for excise. You will maintain the details, everything here. See, we have this chapter ID, right? If you go to the chapter ID, this is the chapter ID which we created. Here we can see the material and chapter ID combination. Here we maintain what is the material for the respective chapter ID. Okay, maybe okay. Here we can maintain like, see whether the multiple, if you want to within single goods receipt, if you want to credit the entire excess, or if you want to do the multiple, that details we will maintain here. And we have different kind of materials here, like consumables, raw materials, and assets. Okay, and according to that the registers will be given. We have exchange registers. RG1 means finished goods, and the consumables and all, what kind of registers which will be maintained, system will decide in this way. Okay, if you see this document, already data is there, that will be more details we can understand. Let me increase the size. Okay, see here, if you see this J1 ID data, what we are going to maintain, for which vendor and material combination, how much percentage it will come, and also for the respective materials, what are the taxes we are going to pay. Everything we maintain in the J1 ID master data. For example, if you see this process of step, when you do the normal receipt, what will happen in our without CIN, we do, then invoice receipt and payment. Okay, but when it is having CIN, we do MIGO. At that point of time we can capture it, but we have to post access with J1 IP. That process will be end. When we want return delivery, how it will be done? We do MIGO 122, and then we do the MIGO wise it is completed, MM part is completed. But when we have SIN, these are the steps. We have to create an excise invoice, which is the reversal. J1IS is the transaction code. Because when you cancel the, when you are sending the material back, along with the material, you have to do the reversals also. The steps also given. This is also a good document, which will give you the steps like how to reverse it, that one, along with what activities you are going to do. That is the one point. For each process it is given cancellation of material documents and PO returns, what you want to do, send what adjustment, and also subcontracting related things. If when you do that one, each one the scenario was given. You may not remember everything, but at least if you keep this document as reference, when you have that kind of requirement, we can go through and we can execute the transactions. Error, if you see that account assignment mandatory for this material, what system is saying, there is no provision for value based inventory management for this material type in this plant. Account assignment is thus necessary. You don't have the value based, okay, that's why account assignment category should be given. That's what the message is saying. Generally, assumption wise I will tell you, if you don't have a value updation tick mark, okay, and also if you don't maintain the accounting view for the material, generally we get this error. Now we are going to see what exactly the issue and we will fix it. See, generally I told you, right, if you don't have accounting view or if you don't have value updation and all, this error will come. You have maintained accounting view but you didn't maintain the valuation class. Why does it happen? Because for the material type which you are using for your material type, what is that material type? SIMI.
Semi
Okay.
finish.
Yeah,
Semi
SIMI.
finish good.
Okay, SIMI. For SIMI, here you have not made valuation class as a mandatory, because valuation class should be mandatory for your material
Semi.
type. Okay. As it is not mandatory, you forgot to maintain it. But in always, valuation class should be mandatory when you have a material with accounting view. Okay. This is the reason for your issue. Now immediately what you have to do is slash n
SPR.
OMS2, which is our material type,
Yes.
uh, SIMI SIMI,
Yeah.
and go to quantity and value
Field
basis. What
selection.
is your plant? MGP1.
Yeah.
MGP1.
P1.
See, for MGP1 SIMI you have not quantity and updation, that also you have not done. I told you this is also reason. In the over the phone I told you, have you checked for your valuation area whether it is done or not? This is the reason. Hmm?
Okay. Actually, I copy paste that setting, but
Okay, this is the reason.
because
And another one, now we are going to, you have to keep valuation class as a mandatory. Now for that what you have to do, select the material type, go to display, and what is the field reference for your thing? HALB. Okay, we are using the standard one, HALB. I think standard it should be having SPRO.
I just copy paste only, and I have not done any changes there. That
Oh,
field selection and all.
okay, okay.
Just for number range and that
Anyway,
type
see,
also
direct
changed.
reason it is using quantity and updation value not available. And also you're supposed to maintain these things also, like what I'm going to do, I'm going to field selection and maintain field for data screens. And what is your field reference? HALB. For HALB you have to keep relation class as a mandatory. So first you have to know what is the field selection group of your field. Okay, what is the field? MBEW BKLAS, I think. BKLAS. Okay, this is the valuation class. It's 31.
Valuation 31.
Come here
31.
and HALB, then 31. Okay, valuation class. Okay, make valuation class as a required entry.
Mandatory.
Even the price, everything, if you want to do that, also you can do. Now I'm going to come to the PR creation. Click on check button.
Check.
Not at replicated. ME51N. When you get this kind of error, first you have to check quantity value update. I told you, right? That is the important thing which you have to keep. MGP1
P1.
100. Unit of measure AU is
Yeah.
also bit surprising thing. We don't give that
No, actually, in that my manufacturing industry, I used to use that AU only
AU. Yeah, okay.
for
See that now the
yeah,
error has
asset record.
resolved. The error has gone.
Yes.
To delete existing
Yeah,
one, it won't allow you. For
the
example,
document has been
that
created.
is already
Yeah.
existing is there. If you want to delete it and it won't allow you, then what you have to do? Come to status. Okay. For which you want to delete it, make it 0.
Okay. Okay.
All number ranges will become blank because this is your own IDS system. Then you can make it.
Actually, I thought that vendor code has been created or material code has been created now, so it will be useful for some time.
No, no, no. For your system, you can make it all this. See, now I made all the status as a current number as a blank. Now you create a new number range and you assign to it. Remove that 18 digit one. Okay.
And what is the IDOC system? Is actually today one person asked me, "Are you working on IDOC?"
Yeah, I will tell you that one. Okay, now I made everything as a blank. Okay, and the status everything we made it as a blank. And now we make
Interval.
all status we have blank, right? Just come group.
Yeah.
Okay, and what are the number ranges are assigned to these things and all? You just come and delete these things.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
can
Yes.
have
Right.
your own setup and all. We can have a new
That's
number
why I
range.
just confused that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I thought that setting has been done now,
Somebody has
so
done
it will
this.
be.
Somebody has created and they eat like crores of number ranges they will be given in
Everywhere
IDS.
that
Yeah,
in
yeah.
that PR also they are making
Yeah,
that
this is the
because
way
we
how
are
you have
using
to
some.
delete it. PR is very easy. For this, you have a groups, right? You have to come and delete that number, respect number range groups and all. Then we can maintain later. Now we maintain
Okay,
a
now I
simple
will
number
do.
ranges per your requirement.